Henri Charrière, nicknamed Papillon, French for butterfly, was a professional safecracker in Paris. His life took a sharp turn when a crime boss named Castillo framed him for the murder of a snitch, Roland Legrand. Despite Henri's innocence and the fact that he spent the evening with his lover, Sinette, the court handed down a brutal verdict: life imprisonment in the penal colonies of French Guiana. Before his deportation, Sinette visits Henri. Realizing that the road to freedom will be long and treacherous, he tells her to forget him. In prison, he meets an inmate named Jacques, who gives him a vital piece of advice. To escape, you need money. Jacques points out Louis Degas, a frail millionaire convicted of forging bonds. Degas is wealthy, and every convict dreams of cutting him open to steal the money capsule he has hidden inside his body. During the transport to South America, Henri realizes that Degas will not last a single day in these savage conditions. He offers the millionaire a deal. Henri provides protection, and Degas funds the escape. At first, Louis refuses, relying on the guards for safety. However, everything changes on the first night. Before Degas' eyes, a fellow inmate is murdered for his money, and the guards simply take their cut and order the body to be disposed of. By morning, a terrified Degas agrees to Papillon's terms. He promises to pay for the escape once they arrive. Though he doesn't plan to flee himself, he still believes his wife will secure an appeal for him in Paris. Henri proves his loyalty through action. When another capsule hunter attacks Louis at night, Papillon engages in a brutal fight and saves his partner's life. Upon arriving in Guyana, the warden immediately sets the stakes. A first escape attempt earns 2 years in solitary confinement. A second earns 5 years and exile to Devil's Island, and murder is punishable by death. Henri tries to secure a job in the infirmary, but the plan falls through. The deputy warden recognizes Degas as the man whose forgeries ruined his family. The friends are sent to the grueling labor of the mines. There, Henri finally shatters Degas' illusions, telling him that his wife has likely moved on and is spending his money instead of helping him. Soon, while working, Degas loses his money capsule due to illness. Henri finds it under the tracks, fending off other inmates in the process. The turning point comes when Jacques is executed before their eyes after a failed escape. Degas, traumatized by the sight of the blood, freezes under a guard's lash. Unable to watch the brutality, Henri strikes the guard with a stone and makes a spontaneous dash into the jungle. He dives into a river and reaches a guide, but the man turns out to be a traitor, ready to hand the fugitive over to the authorities for a reward. Because the guard survived the blow, Henri avoids the guillotine but is sentenced to 2 years in solitary confinement on St. Joseph's Island. Here, even making a sound is forbidden. The silence is designed to break a prisoner's will. Louis does not forget his friend. He bribes a food carrier to smuggle coconut halves to Henri. This support helps Papillon maintain his sanity and physical strength. However, the contraband is discovered. The warden demands the name of the person sending the food, but Henri metes out only silence. As punishment, his rations are cut in half. He begins to deliriously lose track of time but never betrays Degas. After 2 years, a skeletal Henri emerges from solitary. Louis finds him in the infirmary and tearfully asks for forgiveness. Henri was right. His wife had indeed abandoned him and married his lawyer. Papillon, feigning madness to lower the guard's suspicion, waits for the right moment. The opportunity arrives on a Sunday when the guards are distracted by a film screening for officials. Nature itself favors the conspirators: Henri, Louis, Cellier, and Maturette. A storm begins, and the power lines go down. The friends scale the wall, though Louis breaks his leg during the fall. Despite Cellier's demands to abandon the cripple, Henri remains loyal to his friend. They buy a boat from local hunters and head into the open ocean. Tensions rise on the boat. Charrière wants to throw the injured Degas overboard to lighten the load. In the ensuing struggle, Degas saves Henri's life by stabbing Charrière. After a hurricane, the three survivors wash up on the shores of Colombia. They find refuge in a convent, but the Mother Superior, deciding to save their souls, betrays them to the authorities. Charrière is killed during the arrest, and Henri and Louise are sent back to the penal colony. After another 5 years in solitary, an aged, grey-haired Henri is sent to Devil's Island. There he reunites with Louis, who has become a shadow of his former self, quietly tending to a small garden. The island is surrounded by sheer cliffs and shark-infested waters. Guards are barely needed, as nature itself keeps watch. But Papillon does not give up. He observes that every 7th wave is powerful enough to carry a raft out into the open sea. He constructs 2 sacks stuffed with coconuts to act as a float. At the last moment, Louis refuses to jump, realizing he won't survive the journey, and having no desire to return to a world where no one waits for him. Henri throws the raft into the abyss and leaps after it. After agonizing seconds of waiting, Degas sees his friend surface and let the current carry him away. Papillon has found his freedom. In 1969, Henri Charrière returned to France. His novel, Papillon, became a global sensation, and Henri was officially pardoned. He spent the remainder of his life as a free man, witnessing the final abolition of the hated penal system in Guyana during his lifetime. This story stands as a symbol that the only prison you can never escape is the one in which you give up on yourself.